The hottest podcast on the internet. All raw opinions.
We are back with our raw opinions.
Let me
I'm
in this
introducing it the
motherfucker
right way. Raw, you okay over there? Anyway, we are back. We are in
Bro,
November
you're all
still.
fucked up.
These motherfuckers are not going to let me introduce our podcast today. By the way, we are Raider fans, whether you are a hater or not, but Raiders just won. Our coach Pierce. Raiders.
Oh, now we just probably
Casey,
lost a
do
bunch
it,
of
Casey.
followers.
Raiders.
But we don't want to fucking offend everybody.
Exactly. I'm not a football fan, so hey, I just chill
it's
out.
all good. Look at Raiders.
I know. There goes my man card because I don't fucking give a fuck about football.
Anyway, moving on along. How are you, Tanya?
Tanya's back again.
Tanya is back
Again.
because she is
God.
defending me. My girl is back. I love my girl back. I love it because I feel like we're back in high school. Pound it.
Yeah.
I
Raw,
think
what's
Norma
up?
always feels like she needs backup.
I don't understand
You know,
that.
motherfuckers, I don't
Like-
need backup. I just love having
She always
my
brings
backup.
the heat with her.
Yeah.
That's
All of a
okay.
But you know
sudden.
what? Tanya's cool.
We're spicy.
Tanya's pretty fair though. She ain't.
But you know
tripping.
what?
She ain't
If I
tripping.
bring my backup, your
Spicy.
asses are like this. El culito lo tienen así. You
We're
guys are
scared
scared.
all of a sudden.
Scared.
Yeah, whatever.
You guys are scared. What is up? You guys want a shot of tequila?
No.
Anybody
No.
want a shot of tequila?
No.
No,
We're good.
We're
Thank
good.
you. You guys are a
I
bunch
think
of
we had
punks.
enough
Thank you.
before the show. Well,
I did get Tanya a fucking bottle of shot. And she's like, I don't want any. And I fucking threw it in her mouth.
Tanya. Norma like will you with the alcohol like she'll force you. Like a,
1,000%.
Did you love it?
no.
No, wait. God, I'm going to come home smelling like a...
It just fell on your boobies. It's okay. Anyway,
okay.
welcome back, everybody. We are talking about something that's very emotional and sentimental, I think, to some people. Casey and I have had our parents married over 50-some years, over mid-50s, like 54, 56 years of marriage, which is beautiful. High five to that.
Yes.
Yes.
And
awesome.
you know what? Casey and I, now that we are together, we see that we're like, God damn, that is beautiful. Because you know what?
That
I
is
bet you
beautiful.
that was hard to maintain a marriage through goods and bads and the ugly. I know that our parents went through a lot of shit, but they made it work. You know, a lot of marriages back in the day wasn't easy.
Right.
They've probably been through so much shit, but they made it work and they're still together. And it's such a beautiful marriage. His mom and dad they known each other since they were little and they were still together. 50,
In the third grade.
Third grade.
Damn.
Beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
My parents
Wow.
have been married since they were 15, 14, 16. I don't know. Very young, 56, something. About the same
Yeah.
time of marriage, right? Beautiful. Beautiful. And it sucks that Casey and I have been divorced one time. That's okay. It just didn't work. We were young, but now that we're together, we will not go anywhere together. Meaning, well, this is it for us, right? And you guys are come from a divorced family.
Yes.
Yes.
So we want to talk about what it is to grow up in a divorced family, vice versa, a family that has been together.
Together for a long time.
Right. Because I was actually high school friends with her. She was like my best friend. She still is like my best friend, like my sister, actually.
I am where I'm like.
You're like my sister now. You're not my best friend. You're like my sister.
Or
You're like family.
We're familia.
We're familia now, basically. So she's stuck with me whether she likes it or not. She
Yeah,
has no
literally.
fucking choice. So we are family.
We are.
And so I saw everything growing up with you. It was hard,
Very much so.
but I give a lot of props to your papas. Rest his soul. So it's not easy.
Hold them back. I see it.
Hold those tears back.
Shit.
Because we got me and Tanya got
It's hard.
some things in common.
Yes,
You know.
but I'm gonna tell you, I have the best memories with her dad. Even though we snuck in a lot of people into her room, we did a lot of shit we should have not. But those were teenage years, and I think everybody does that.
Hold on a second, because I've known Tanya for a while too. Sorry, there's a couple
High
things.
school years.
Yeah, high school years. You know, I didn't know that you came from a divorced family,
Yeah.
and you who were you raised by?
My
Or
dad.
both?
Her
Oh,
dad.
you're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my mom and dad split, and I basically had the choice to go with either my mom or dad, and I chose my dad.
Wow.
Why?
So
Yeah. Why?
Keeping it real.
Keeping it real.
I think she felt that it was more stable with her dad.
I think it was, and
stable.
I didn't have a relationship with my mom at that time. So I was I'm not going to say what happened really, but she did some things that I didn't agree with. And
Right.
so I stuck with my dad.
So as a young kid, you decided.
Yes. I was about 16, 15 maybe.
Yeah,
no,
15,
16,
16
when my parents got divorced. And it was probably one of the hardest times of my entire life.
Right. Oh,
So-
it affects a kid for sure.
Oh,
You know?
Everything does.
big time.
Yeah.
But I
Big
gotta
time.
say, she dealt with it very well because you know what? I didn't notice it till we would go over, and you're like, "Oh, it's just my dad," and I'm like, "Okay." And we would go over very often, probably on a
all the
daily
time.
basis, right after school
Yeah.
when we would ditch.
Yeah. Thank God he's not.
Did you ever go to school, Corazon? Every time we talk about school, you always talking about
Well,
ditching.
I'm gonna interrupt this conversation really quickly. I did break the record of that year of that couple school years of not being in school. I broke the record of not
Damn,
being there.
son.
But I still graduated 6 months early on the record. But go ahead.
What were we talking about?
How you lived with
That's
your
a key that's
dad?
getting you now.
Of how you lived
Oh
with your
yeah,
dad?
so I just chose to live with my dad, and I didn't
Yeah.
have a relationship with my mom my entire high school years. I was with my dad, and
Yes. And he was the best.
Yeah.
He was fucking amazing.
the best that he could do,
Right.
for
And
the
you know what's
circumstances.
crazy? You're the second person. I only knew one other person that was raised by their dad, you know? And it
Yeah.
was a female, what I'm saying, a female.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, yeah.
So that's interesting.
I'm very close. I was very close with him.
He was very strict.
Very. Oh
But
my
it's funny
God.
because they
Well, he's
lived in-
got to be. It's his
No, so
daughter.
where they lived in Aliso Viejo, they
Bruh.
moved into something smaller, right? And I remember him being very strict with her. He was trying his best, right? He
Mm-hmm.
was just more like, "You got to be home at this time. This is what you got to do. You got to do your homework." Do you remember that?
Oh yes, I
He was
do.
very strict. He was trying to do his best as a father, right? A father figure. And we were such bitches. We were just so out of control. We were just like wanting to be out in the world, wanting to be out there with the boys. And you need to be here. Okay, Dad, I will be here. And we would be there, but we would sneak out. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And he was snoring. We were like, "Oh, he's snoring. Let's sneak
Yes.
out."
Or we would sneak in.
Or we
people.
would sneak in, but he
Yes.
wouldn't notice because
No.
once he was snoring, he was out.
Mm.
He was
He
out.
was out.
Look at Casey staring at me.
I kind of know something about that. In
It
this
was bad.
house.
So
I feel bad. I feel terrible.
but we weren't doing anything bad. We just wanted to be out longer.
Yes.
We just wanted to be out longer.
Right.
Yeah, it's not like we were doing anything in the
Like we went to Ordo's parties. Hello, those were
Yeah.
parties
No, that
that
was fun times.
Yeah, remember Rick Ordo?
Yes.
we would go to
I
Rick
went to
Ordo
a
parties.
couple of his.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
His
were
parties.
always there. So it was kind of like
Right.
those are the parties that we couldn't go. But it was funny because they would spend the night at my house. Why?
Yes.
Because my mom didn't give us a curfew. She knew we were safe. So we would come at 2, 3 in the
And
morning.
this is all in the 90s and stuff, right?
Yeah, so we would come at 2, 3 in the morning, and then she'd wake up at 6. Cabronas, andaban de putas. And we're like, no, we weren't. And we wake us all up. And she'd throw like chanclas and wake us up. But she knew that we were okay because she knew
Yeah.
they were good girls. It was just, we just wanted to be out with you guys,
Right.
partying
And hanging out.
and hanging out.
Yeah.
That we weren't doing no dumb shit. We were just
right, for sure.
we were just out there watching you guys skateboard and do stupid shit.
yeah.
But her dad was always concerned where we were, but we were with you guys. You
Well,
know,
here's the thing. Like, since I have a daughter, you know, I could totally understand what your dad was going through because, you know, I had like my daughter would come with me one week, you know, and then
Yeah.
next week her mom, and you know, it's just different with daughters. You know, you want to like make sure you take care of them. It's not that you're being strict, but I got lucky because my daughter was very shy and kind of introverted anyway, so it kind of helped me out. But I could totally see
We weren't.
But
Not
you guys
you- not
weren't.
you two.
You guys weren't. That's what I'm saying. Like you guys were always out there.
you were trying to put that protective shield over your
Hell
daughter.
yeah, and
it was hard.
But
yeah,
I got help from my daughter because she was very, like I said, introverted and just chill.
She wasn't ready to jump out of the window.
We had
to,
pagers.
yeah.
to sneak out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
we
did.
had pagers, so
Yeah.
when we were down Bristol, we would get pagers. And then I remember our friend Patty. If Patty's out there and she's watching this, girl, shout out to you. Her
I remember
dad,
Patty.
Her dad was the first one that I knew that had a phone in his car.
Oh shit.
Do you remember
Oh,
that?
yes.
And we would get there. We were like, oh, we don't have to stop at a payphone. So we would we would be in the car with the fucking phone in the car. And we were like, we got her dad's phone in the fucking car. We're like,
And
did
of
you
course,
page
we'd be
me?
paging my dad because he was the only one that would call.
No, but we would get all those fucking paper numbers.
Yes.
Oh, this is from the bald guy. This is the guy in the fucking
Oh,
Cadillac.
yeah.
This is the guy from the Impala.
This was back in like when
That's
we were
right.
16.
Fuck.
But we would get.
I was doing all that stuff.
We would have
17.
Tanya. Don't lie to them. We would have handfuls of numbers. Like we would put them in a bowl. Like that's how many numbers.
You know
We
what
didn't
you're
have
looking,
issues.
You know what you're looking like right now?
That's okay, but
No,
that means
but
we
it
would have
doesn't mean
numbers
like
where
it-
we wouldn't do
What?
anything.
Tell me.
Yeah, we weren't. It's not like we were like.
Bunch of hoochies.
Damn.
No,
I'm
we
just
weren't-
saying, like,
Damn.
but like,
This is the
We
90s.
I'm just saying.
but we weren't doing
Hey,
anything.
Okay.
We weren't
We're
doing
just having
anything.
fun.
says you, but who's gonna fucking think about that?
You know what? If anybody that's watching this and it was in our era at that time, they know what we were
The
doing.
90
They know what we
Generation
were.
X.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only thing
and
involved
as
was
a
scam it
perro
up.
in that era,
Was what?
when I
Scam it
gave
up.
a number,
Scam it up.
I was,
Yes.
I
That's
was,
it.
That's
All we
it.
would do was scam it up.
Yes, that was
scam it up was big.
Okay, definition of scam it up, real quick.
Was not sex.
Was not sex.
but was
Just kissing. Period.
Kissing.
scam
Maybe
it up
got
for
a-
me back
maybe
in the
got-
day. It was a
Maybe
little
a
more
little
than scam
pulling
it
on the
up.
wig.
Maybe pulling out the wig.
Pull
and
the
maybe,
wig off, like
maybe
what?
got a touch of the
Oh,
right
yeah.
boob.
There was-
Maybe.
Oh,
But,
okay.
but
So
the
now a
numbers
little
was
more.
from-
Now a little more.
No. But those numbers was from Bristol. Doesn't mean that we associated with them or they touched them. We just got numbers.
First of all, probably my number was some way, somehow.
You know
probably
what,
in
though,
that bowl.
you
that
had a
word-
girlfriend and you were down Bristol.
No,
I
at
remember
that time
though,
we didn't know that.
the scamming word, the scam, right?
You remember
It
that
was
word?
such a proud word, man.
Yes.
Such a proud
Scam
word.
with somebody.
Hey, when I kissed
Yes.
the girl, they fell in love, though. You know what I'm saying? They
Oh,
fell
my
in
God.
love, baby. Yeah.
That was my problem.
They fell in love. Yeah, you know, kissed the girl, man. I was like, yeah, that's right, baby.
Shut up,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a couple years older than you, so I was like I was on Bristol before
It's
you
still
were.
You
like
were
that to
a
this
lot
day,
older
though.
than me.
Not a lot older,
A
but
lot older.
But my name was known on those streets, and my cars.
I get it.
My cars that were out there rolling.
I was there. I
Maybe
was
we didn't
rolling
even
with the
see
homie. You
them.
know what I'm saying?
Wait, did you
Anyway.
cruise Bristol?
Hell yeah.
Okay,
I used
I'm
to cruise
waiting
Bristol.
on-
Anywho, so growing up, you
yeah.
guys had divorced parents. It was
Yeah.
probably
Back
a
to the
lot
topic.
harder.
Back to the topic.
How did we go from Bristol to divorced parents?
Yes, we
Okay,
do,
so
'cause we've
it
been
was
drinking.
probably a lot harder on you guys. Like with me being having my parents, they were a lot lenient because
Right.
I think I had 3 older brothers and sisters.
Right. So,
They didn't really give me a curfew. They were just telling me be home safe. I had a pager, but I would always get home at a certain time. It was funny. I would come home and my dad was leaving to work.
right.
But they knew I was safe because I never did stupid shit. I just wanted to hang out outside. And then they would come to my house because my mom didn't give me a curfew. Like
Right.
she did, but I just never really obeyed it. I just kind of was like, I know if I come home, they know as long as I was home, right?
Right.
But if we got home past 12 at her
Oh,
house,
no.
we would be fucked. Her
yeah,
dad would be
no.
like,
That just
Tanya, what
wouldn't
are you
happen.
doing, Tanya? You
No.
didn't come home at the right time, so we would be fucked.
He would fall asleep on the couch waiting for me.
Yeah, so we'd be fucked. But if
Yeah.
he said, "Oh, I'm spending the night at Norma's,"
Yeah,
would
he'd be
like,
fine until that day that we got caught.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
know if you remember that.
Yes, I do.
So that was the first time I ever saw my dad cry.
Damn.
That was the first time I ever
Damn,
saw my
son.
dad cry.
Because
Yeah,
you
that's-
lied to him and he
that
caught you.
yes,
Yeah.
and he was just
Livid. He was
Livid.
livid.
Yeah.
He was disappointed.
he was so
crying.
disappointed. He was crying. He started crying, and he's like, "I
Didn't raise you this way.
yes, I don't know what it's gonna take to change you.
Yeah.
I can't do this anymore." Like, and I was like, that touched, like that hurt, because like
Yes.
I'm a daddy's girl.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know, and even though he's up in heaven now, but
Rest in peace.
he's just like, I was a daddy's girl, and
Yeah.
everybody knew that. Everybody,
Oh, yeah.
you know, even
Oh,
at
yeah.
his funeral, like everybody came up to me and they're like, "We know how you were with your dad,"
Right.
and it's because I was like the way that I was when I was a teenager. So I kind of like now as an adult, I try to make up for that. So I treated him extra special. I went out of my way because I felt like I owed him a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
But I respected him. That's why I never got a tattoo.
He was a man to be respected.
Yeah, I never got a tattoo. I was married to a tattoo artist, you know, and
Shout outs to Franco.
Franco,
We got to
and-
put him on here.
And now my son's a tattoo artist, and it's like I just got my first tattoo when my dad passed away.
In
So-
honor of your dad, show him.
In
Isn't that
honor of
crazy?
my
'Cause,
dad.
Like, your
Who did it?
Your parents don't want you to have
Franco
tattoos.
Muscovi.
Franco?
Yeah, my ex-husband. And so like so it's like
Did you have to pay for it?
no.
I was just asking.
No, I did not.
Why would you ask that?
Well, you never know. Hey, it's a business. Like, hey,
No,
half
no.
price, at
If
least.
anybody knows me and Franco, we have a very interesting relationship. We're very
Franco has a
We
big
have-
Why would he
heart.
charge his baby mama though? I don't
No,
understand.
No.
Yeah.
Franco has a big heart, and
Yeah.
after
How about
everything,
baby
that-
mama's friends?
no,
no. He just
Franco has a big heart.
yeah, he has a very big heart, but I think we've been through so much
so
together.
much shit
I
together.
was just joking.
And now our little boys, which are the same age, are best friends. They're like
Yes.
brothers. So like we, and Franco's taken on my son as his own.
You know what? And I bow
So-
down to your relationship because co-parenting
it's
and then,
hard.
and yes,
Very
and
hard.
then getting his kid that's not yours and your kid that's not his to be best friends. That's pretty big. I don't know how you guys can do that. And you know what? I bow down to that because you know what? There's not a lot of people that can do that.
No, there's not. And a lot of people don't get it. And I really don't
No.
care. And people talk shit.
And
And,
you
I
can
really
do
don't
this to
care.
people.
Yeah, I really
it.
don't care. But,
There
You know?
go. Good.
but this is how we get along. And
job.
this is our co-parenting. At the end of the day, it's about the kids.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to tell my little boy to hate on his son because of whatever happened between him.
as long as you guys can
as
get
long
along.
as we can get along, and as long as our main focus is our kids.
Absolutely.
And so we've grown a lot, and so like we're divorced and we've moved on, and
you guys are like family now.
we're family.
You guys are family.
Franco's my
100%.
family, and I will do anything for him, and he as vice versa. And that's I have a lot
That's how
of
you have
respect
to
for
do
him.
it. When you have,
You know what? At the end of the day,
or else
the
it's gonna
kids
be
are
war,
suffering,
and
and it's about the kids.
It is at the end of the day because you know what? At the end of the day, these kids are suffering in silence,
Yes,
and we don't know that they're suffering in silence. My
but
kids
that's
are
what a lot of
suffering in
people
silence.
don't get. It's just about
Yeah.
the kids, not
Yes.
about you and him
Yes.
or whoever they're
Right.
dating or married
Yes.
to.
Right.
It's always about the kids because all you're gonna do is harm the kids.
yes,
Right.
yes.
You're adult. You can take it.
Yes.
The kids
Absolutely.
get fucked up in the head from the craziness, the talking back and forth.
Yes.
They get
The
confused.
fighting.
The
Yes.
fighting.
Yes.
So as adults, sometimes you gotta just suck it up and be
Suck
like, it's
it up.
about the kids. I'm over it. I'm an adult. I can I can figure
1000%.
my shit out.
But I'm going
Yes.
to tell you something too, though. For me, and a lot of people don't get it. It's just like it's because if you're in love with that person, that's going to be hard for
Right.
you to be able to accept him with his new family, right? So that's where I disattached myself many years ago.
But if you like,
But if you love your kids more-
but if you love their kid, yeah, absolutely. If
but
you
if
love,
you like and love their kids, it's different.
yeah, it's different. And so like it took a lot of years to get where we're at right now, but I learned a lot from our parents being divorced because like
Yes.
even until like very recently until my dad, because my dad just passed away in 2021, I believe it was 2021.
Yeah.
And up until that time, when my dad would come into town, I would literally have to tell my mom, you're not allowed to come to the house. Like
Yeah.
this is my dad's time, because they would just, especially,
Bicker?
yeah, just,
Bicker,
not
uncomfortable.
not bicker, but it was that uncomfortableness. And so because I felt that, I made a promise to myself to never have my kids feel that way when me and their dad are together. Like
I always did that.
Yeah,
So-
that's good.
that's that.
Casey did that.
I always did that.
I never wanted for my kids to feel what I felt.
Yeah.
Like because I never want my kids to be like, Mom, Dad's here, so you got to leave because I'm like throwing, whatever.
When it's new, you faked it. Like everything's
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm good. Even though it's not.
Right.
After years pass on, then you
Right.
kind of like, okay,
You
then,
mature.
Then it's
you
like,
swallow
okay,
a
then
lot of
it's
things for
over.
the kids.
Yes.
But at the beginning, you kind of just suck it up and
You
just
do.
like,
But you have to
for
be
your
mature
kids.
enough. Yeah, you have to be
For
mature
your
enough
kids.
to do
You
that
do.
for your kids.
Oh.
And the beginning, it wasn't like that. It was war, right? But
Yes.
then you get to a point where you're just like, God. And I don't even know what happened to break that. Maybe it was our smaller kids that united us. But it's like, it's not worth it. At
You know
the end
what
of
it
the day,
was?
it's not worth it.
You know what it was?
What?
We were all very young when we had our kids.
I was gonna
and
say
we,
maturity.
Yeah, it
and
was.
we
It
all
was
gr-
maturity.
We all grew up and we realized, like, why are we doing this when our
And-
kids get along?
And
Yeah.
you don't want to continue a cycle.
And absolutely
You
not.
don't want to put something in your kid's head
Yeah.
to do another
No.
cycle of what
I'm not going
we
to
did.
teach my little boy who's 9 years old to hate on his kid
Exactly.
because of whatever happened. That's gone. That's in the past. Like, let's close
Right.
that chapter.
Don't repeat that cycle.
Don't know. So
And you
I
know what? I give you props for that because that's a really big pill to swallow. To
Yeah.
be friends, because you know what? I wish I could have that with my ex and be like, hey, come be involved with your kids because at the end of the day, you know, they need you.
Yeah.
But it takes two to tango. So
Absolutely.
if
I was just
one
gonna say
doesn't
that.
want to do it,
Then you're not going to get
You're
it.
The
not gonna
problem
do it.
is that macho prideness is so real
Oh,
nowadays
yeah.
that
and that's what's
you
wrong.
Would,
is
you would think that
Yeah.
nowadays in 2024 that pill would be done. No, that macho pill is still fucking there, and that if anybody that's still sitting in that macho-ness needs to get over it because
Get
at the end
over
of the
it.
day, your kids
They're going to feel it.
is what matters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
they're the ones who
that
suffer.
macho
The
kids
needs
suffer.
to get the fuck out of your system because you
That's
know
right.
what? It's not going to work.
Because if you
it's gonna
don't-
damage your kids.
if
Right.
you don't take your kids into consideration as far as like
Yeah.
they're first, then what I feel,
Yeah.
you're fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like
Because
Casey's always been
them
there for his baby
not,
girl.
Not you, not what you feel, what your kids feel.
Absolutely.
Consider
They're
them.
the ones that hurt.
Like
That
I'm
they're
tell
gonna
you-
they're gonna soak all this shit up
Yeah.
before you do because
I'm
you're already old.
And
You're
even
grown.
even as adults, like the other day, I had a call, my kid's dad, and we had a conversation about something, and it's just like our kids are obviously over 18 now, both of them,
Right.
You know, but it's like and I was like, God, this is so awesome that I could just call him. And we could just be mature adults about this.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like, and we've come to that point where like, hey, if you see that I'm doing something like wrong or vice versa, like, and it's affecting our kids, we should be able to come together to help them.
Yes.
And to
Right.
help us, because Raul, you have a daughter.
Yep.
And you have you have a baby mama.
I got a baby mama.
You
Yeah.
know? And it's just like, but you know
Yes.
what? Your daughter's going to have a baby one day.
Yep.
And that there's going to be birthday parties that are going to come, you
don't
guys
wanna-
that are
you
going
don't
to
wanna
unite you
teach
guys.
bad habits.
No,
No,
I get
and you
along with
don't-
my baby mama.
Yes.
The
we
good thing
good.
is that
we good.
his daughter got married and they were able to go like this and
Yes.
come together and it's beautiful that they're able to do that and
Yeah.
So you
I-
get it where I'm at.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah.
You got to be. I mean,
Absolutely.
There was steps to be taken though to get to the
Hey, like I
maturity
said,
part.
it took a lot of years
Yeah,
for
it does.
me.
It does
and
take a
for
little bit,
us.
but you know what? It's so much better for the kids. I mean, my
Yes.
daughter's way older now, but growing up, it just when she was younger, and we had to run into each other. Me and my daughter's mom. I'm sure she felt the same way. You know,
Right.
like fuck, I gotta see him. You know, I gotta deal with this
but
shit.
Raw, I bet
You know?
you it healed her inner childness when you were still there, especially through the wedding stuff, because it really is something to be there and involved in everything. Because you know what, as much as your daughter may not say it, you being involved in the whole wedding thing and being involved
Yeah.
in being there through it all, it's a lot. And you know what, her being, I'm getting married and my dad's around, it's big because
Yeah.
that's one less stress for her. Oh,
Right.
my dad is around during my wedding
and my
around
parents
mom's-
get along.
Exactly.
Well, you
That's
know what's
the
crazy?
biggest thing.
You know what? I'm sure my daughter was going through all sorts of emotions.
Oh yeah, it's
Yes.
crazy getting married.
at her wedding, but
I'll
I
never
was
do it
also
again.
going through my emotions, and I'm sure her mom was too. But to get to the point where we were back in the day to now we're at my daughter's wedding, coinciding with each other on total mutual respect terms
Yes.
was the most best feeling I've ever had. You know,
Yes.
I just felt so good. Like, man, this is what's all about. You got to remember, I had my daughter at 19 years old, you know, and my daughter's mom was 18. So, we were young. We were just kids,
Yeah.
and I'm sure, I don't want to speak for her, but I'm sure she looks at me like a cousin now. Like my daughter's mom, we look
Yeah.
at each other like we're just like cousins.
Brother and sister, yeah,
like a
like I
distance
do.
cousin. I know it's
Yeah.
a little weird, but we just, that's it. You know what I'm saying? It was something we did and something we had to do. It's all good. Okay. But anyways,
But
yeah.
you know what? I think our age
Throw me
had.
that a remote.
I think at our age we had kids very young, and all of us are divorced.
Right.
Or, I
Yeah.
mean, you're separate. You weren't married, but all of us are divorced.
Yeah.
Casey, me, you, and he's not with baby mama.
Yeah.
But if I think now that we're at our second round, at least me and Casey, we're like, okay, now we know what marriage is. Now we know what love is. And I think when you guys find the right person, you guys be like, fuck, now I'm ready for love. Now I'm ready
Yeah.
for marriage.
Well-
because we should have waited, but we were so stupid in love and
Right.
blind, Like,
But
I'm not blind anymore because I
Go-
see Casey and I'm like,
Corazon.
corazon. Like,
That
he
is
calls
so
me
funny.
corazon.
Everybody says that they always say corazon. It's like fucking. You
'Cause
gotta
he calls
tag
me
that,
that.
man.
That's his heart.
Amor, I love you. And
Hey,
it's
but
like,
really quick though,
You know what?
back to kind of circle back what Tanya was saying about like the divorced parents. If I can grab that thought again, fuck.
Sorry.
Yeah.
well, you were talking
I'll
about
break
baby
in.
mama.
But you know what? When
Yeah.
it comes to the kids, is what you learn is what you saw.
That's
coming
what I was
up.
gonna say.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That just resonates in your head
Yeah.
all your life. Is what you saw as a little kid. Is it goes to the
yeah.
back of your brain, and there's shit
Right.
that you see that is like that all goes
Right.
in the back of your brain.
Yeah.
That's how you're gonna be when you grow up.
Right. I remember when having my daughter's like I think her like second birthday or something, and my mom was like, "Is your dad gonna be there?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course." Like, and then it was like she's like, "Well, I'm not, I don't know if they're coming." Right.
That was my parents.
That was in the beginning. In the beginning though, right? Like my daughter was only 2, and I was like, I remember telling my mom, I said, "Look, I'm not doing this shit no more. Like this is my daughter now. I need you guys to
Figure it out.
figure
Yeah.
it out.
Be
And-
adults.
And I remember my mom telling me, like, when you told me that, like, I remember, like, hey, I gotta, like, fix this shit. Like, it's not about them no more. You
Yeah.
know. So that made me feel really good because I was at that point. I was like, fuck, I have a kid now. I don't know what you guys are talking about
Right.
anymore. I don't
Right.
really give a shit.
Or you both aren't going to be invited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Or
Then
be
fuck it,
included.
then don't come.
It
you
is
know?
what it is.
But thank God it just it got all sorted out, and like my parents were they were really good to each other at the end. My dad was even there when my mom passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah, rest her soul,
I
yeah.
totally feel your pain on the parents thing,
Yeah.
dying and stuff. That shit fucking sucks.
Your mom was there, right?
no.
Yeah.
No. We were. We didn't. Well, she was at the funeral.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
She was at the funeral, but she
Yeah.
wasn't there like when we were going to the hospital.
But I-
No. Yeah,
But the
that's what
whole
I'm saying.
divorce thing, man, like I remember growing up as a kid, and you go with your dad for a weekend, and then with your mom for the weekend, and then I actually went with my dad too. I went and lived with him for a while, and it was just weird. It was like I didn't really know nothing else, because they got divorced when I was like in 3rd grade or some shit, 4th
Oh,
grade.
so you were really young.
Yeah, so I didn't know anything else.
Same with my
See-
daughter. She
Yeah.
was divorced very young.
Yeah,
Yeah, you were.
So you kind of grow up like,
yeah.
especially in South OC, a lot of people have.
It's normal.
It's normal.
Yes.
There's a
It's
lot of
normal in
divorce.
OC.
Well, I don't know
Yes.
about what's going on with South OC, but there's a lot of divorce.
But I remember growing up seeing people's parents together though, and me going like, "What the fuck?" Like,
And then-
because my parents were.
Did it make you sad?
It just kind of, I felt like, what the fuck? I don't know.
Yeah.
I
no,
didn't,
that made me sad.
That
it
made
didn't-
me sad.
Okay, check it out. It didn't make me sad. It made me confused because I didn't know anything else. I'm thinking like, because I was already older.
Oh, you were little though.
Well, I mean, I was little, but then I started growing up. It was because they got divorced when I was in 3rd grade. 4th.
Okay.
So as I'm going through life and I'm seeing people's parents together still, and mine weren't, I didn't know anything else but not having
No,
parents.
but see,
then
that-
when I saw them, the other parents, I'm just confused. Like, what the fuck?
No, but see, that's where I was like,
Yeah.
let me get my shit together and be like not mad.
Right.
And like if my daughter's shit was going on and her mom had to be there,
Right.
I'm there too.
Right.
So she
course.
has mom and dad there. We don't have to be all fucking like
Lovey-dovey.
lovey-dovey,
Right.
but we're both there. So she feels, my daughter feels okay that
Supported.
mom and dad are there.
Yeah.
We don't have to be holding hands,
Right.
but mom and dad are there. So
But
she
you're
don't-
cordial.
She don't, yeah, exactly. So it was always about my daughter.
Right.
Yes.
See, and
You know what I
my
mean?
kids
Yeah.
was really hard because they had divorced parents, but then they had Papa as Sergio, which they call Papa, come in and, like my daughter says, you saved our broken family, and it chokes me because my daughter says, Papa, you saved our broken family, and that's her dad to her,
Right.
and it's so hard because he stepped in as a father figure.
Right.
That's something her dad couldn't do. And he's not very far. He's 15 minutes away and he can't be there for them. And they're older now and he's their father figure, you know? And it's so hard because he's been there for the past 12 years. And it chokes me because
That's a good man.
no, absolutely 100%. And people like him, they're hard to find. And it just sucks because if he was willing to say, hey, I want to be in my kid's life, 100%. Now that I'm not there to navigate them, to be there, hey, come see your kids.
Right.
And they're older, he can't even do it himself. Does that make sense? So now that Papa's here, he can't even come say, hey, I want to see my kids. So he has to step in and be like, hey, I'm your Papa. I'm here. But I don't want to take your dad's side or your dad's
But
place.
you know what?
Place.
And it makes me upset because I'm like, you know what, motherfucker? Like, you have two beautiful kids that you can't even come see. You're 15 fucking minutes away, and you're missing the most beautiful times of your kids' lives. You know, and it sucks because you have another man being here raising them, which you have the ability to come see them. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you know what I mean? Which I give him all the rights because at the end of the day, he
stepped in and he's taking over. things, yeah.
Absolutely.
But I'll make it very clear, and I've always made it very clear that no, I'm not their biological father, but I'm here for you. You can call me whatever you want, but you don't have to call me nothing other than, you know what, I'm just here for you as Norma and the babies and the babies, the kids.
Right.
I call them like
yeah.
babies. They're my babies.
Yeah, I get
Right.
it.
And if you were to reunite with your dad, that's probably the best thing in your life that you could do.
But he's
because
not
you kind of need
consistent.
that. And
He's
I've
not
always told
consistent.
them and told her, you probably should. If you
You know
can't,
you have.
if
He
you
has.
can't make that work, I'm still here for you.
But what
Because
happens? He's
you
not
kinda need
consistent.
to do that
Right.
psychologically.
But you
I'm
know
sorry.
he's not consistent,
But you
babe.
can't. I get that.
He's not consistent.
But I've always been open. Like, you can.
Yeah.
yeah, he has.
Like,
he has.
I know my place.
I'm always going to be here.
I know my place.
Yeah,
I'm always going to be. I'm
here.
not going
But
nowhere.
what is doing
I'm not going nowhere.
Exactly.
But what does my daughter call
If
you?
it doesn't, Papa.
Papa.
But
And you're her dad?
yeah,
She always says, "Oh, my
I'll
dad's
take
coming, my
whatever,
parents are
whatever
coming. We're her
title,
parents."
whatever you guys want to call me. But they're my kids.
Yeah.
But whatever they choose to do in life, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, I'm still here no matter what. Like, nothing changes from what I've done. I don't do nothing extra. I'm just doing for what I feel like it's for my family.
Exactly.
When they
That's
ask
it.
me, how many kids do you have? I say I have 3. I do. I have his daughter, my daughter, and my son. I have 3
Right.
kids. At the end of the day, when you become a blended family, you become one.
But that's what you do as a man. Like, you take it on and you do it. Right.
And I feel bad for him because, you know, my kids have been crazy. Like, my daughter's been crazy. We've given him a headache, but at the end of the day, he's a warrior. He's taken everything he can take from
I'm
my
a
family.
brick. You're not knocking me down.
You're not.
That's it.
And you know what?
You're not knocking me down. So
We were meant to be, and I don't know if he thinks he's going anywhere, but he's not, because I will chase him down. I will kick his ass. I will knock his knees. I will
That
break
I
his
believe.
legs
You're not
down.
going to go far.
I will break his legs. I don't care. He's not
Hey,
going
you know what? Let me
anywhere.
tell you something. It's not, the grass is not greener on the other side.
It's not. I will break his
No,
legs.
it's not. I've been trying to say that shit for
Casey,
years,
I
man.
will break your fucking legs.
not.
You're not.
Okay.
Nope. You're not going nowhere.
Corazon, why are you gonna break my legs?
You're not going nowhere. I want.
Break his
I'll
legs,
tell you what.
Corazon.
I know we got to wrap up, but I'm gonna say something.
We're not
live.
wrapping up. Hold on, fool.
What? Okay.
Okay. What I'm saying is, it's tough.
Wait, she's still praising me.
Hold on. It's tough. It's tough for being in a family that's divorced, and it's tough to be, and it's not as tough being in a family that's been together. Like, for my family, my mom and dad, they held it together. Your parents held it together. They've been married so many years, right? Old school
Nothing is-
morals.
It's harder now.
No, it is. But you know what? I saw something on TikTok or Instagram that said, if you're going to be together with someone, no matter what it is, you're going to go through the horrible you're not going to like each other.
Right.
This is what it said. You may not like each other today, tomorrow. You may disagree. You may not get along tomorrow. You may have happy days, bad days. Doesn't mean you're going to quit. You need to make it fucking work. You
Yeah,
need to,
you got to make it work.
yeah. And it says, you need to date each other. You need to continue the romance. You need to find the dates. You need to flourish that rose again. You know, you need to
water
you
the
need to
plants,
fall in
or-
love
yeah.
again.
Yeah.
You need to fall in love again.
Right.
But do not quit. And I sent him that. And I said, did you listen to that? He goes, yes. I said, are you sure you listened to that? Because at the end of the day, we bicker a lot because we've been together over 12 years. We bicker a lot. We nag at each other. But it does not fail that we say, I love you, corazón, or I love you, amor.
Okay, but we don't have to answer this today. So going off of that, this is another topic that you just fired me up. The stuff you did when you knew each other, when you were sexually
When you were dating in the beginning. Right.
at the beginning, does that still continue?
So they were saying,
Next.
hold on. So they were saying, wait,
because
wait,
you
wait,
used
wait.
to do some dirty, and like now it's like does the dirty like.
So
you know,
wait.
it's like just
So
like,
they were saying when it stops.
You know what I'm getting at. You know what I'm getting at.
So they were saying when it stops, the man has to continue to romance the wife because when it stops, there's something. Then you need to continue to romance. There's something missing.
That's what I'm getting at. It's like
So you need to continue to romance when.
or the woman, vice versa.
Vice versa.
Yeah. Yeah. So what happens is it dies for a little bit, and you got to re-burn the fire.
Right.
So because it
Because
dies,
you know what, at the beginning when it was hot and heavy, there's a lot of
Oh,
Yeah.
there's-
a lot of stuff
Yeah.
going on.
So that's what they were saying. So when it hot,
Corazón.
yeah, corazón. So when it's hot and burning,
Oh, shit.
and then then it dies. So then what happens? The man needs to bring it back up.
Should we step away? Should we give him a moment?
So
You
it
guys need to leave the
time is
studio.
Should we
leave the room?
You
Should
guys
me
need
and
to
Ron
leave the
leave?
studio right now.
so it needs to. The man needs to bring the romance back up.
And the woman
Yes.
needs to be a little freer.
Well, we all know what's gonna happen tonight.
Yeah. So you need to take those fucking shorts off
Okay,
right now.
so before we wrap up,
Rip them
Corazón here.
chonies off.
You know what's funny? Real quick, I'm going to tell you something. I just told Serge when he got home. I said, "Do you want to have sex?" He goes, before this show, he said, hold on, I got to do some things. We can't have it right now. That's what he said, by the
I
way.
did because I had to fix up the studio.
Okay, but
I had a
that's
lot
all
of
I
work
have
to
to
do.
say. But we are wrapping up our raw
Put me on blast.
We are
Put me on
wrapping up.
blast.
Stay tuned for the next show. Thank you for joining us.
peace out.
Thanks, Tanya. Bye.
The hottest podcast on the internet.